different characters and so forth. And I learned so much about Marvel characters from reading this. I had one of these, not this exact copy, but this exact edition when I was a kid, and I loved it. So I was really, really, really excited about that. And I got a couple other things over here that, I don't know, you might be into. So, but if you're not interested, just let me know, okay?
Hey, kid. Yeah, you. Everyone thinks toys are fun, but this is a channel for adults. Yeah, I said it. If you're under the age of 18, go get your parents before you come in here. If you're under the age of 13, scram! Let's get on with the show.
First, I have a Power of the Force X-Wing, complete. I had an X-Wing as a child, and it was the original white one with no battle damage or anything. I got it at a yard sale. It had no canopy, it had no guns. It just kind of was there. And I just fell in love with that thing, but I always wanted a real one, like a complete one. And, you know, some of you know, some of you may not remember, but I've been building up my vintage collection of Bespin-centric Star Wars figures, you know, in that scale for a long time. And I finally decided it was time to take the plunge and get some vehicles. And I started with the X-Wing. And it even comes with a Luke weapon in here, which I just kept in the bag. But this thing is just frickin' beautiful. I have not checked the electronics. I'm sure the batteries in here are dead, if there are any. The button works, but I don't have any batteries in it, so I need to check that out. But it's in really nice shape, as Gotitron is saying. It's very cool. And again, when I do vintage toys, I don't like paying the average price. I want to find a good specimen at the lower end of the cost, if at all possible. Now, when I set out to do this, with the list of vehicles that I wanted to get, I had a budget set for each vehicle. Now, I'm not bragging about price, but I had said $100 for anything this size, or around this size, or less. And in this case, I got him for like $45, and it came with the blueprints, aka the instructions. So I got really lucky with that. And continue on with that luck, I got a Power of the Force Slave 1, which is also complete except for the Han and Carbonite, which is, you know, that's a pain. But and the trigger's been kind of finicky, but it does function. Everything else works. The hatch here works, and this is functioning, and this does what it's supposed to do, you know. Can't be mad about it. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. And again, I had a budget of like $100, and I spent maybe 40 on it. So I'm very, very, very happy. And what I like about these, and the reason I'm specifically going after Power of the Force examples of these things, is that I like the paint on them better than the originals. These aren't perfect. You know, like if the base plastic of the Slave 1 were a bit more gray than this cream color, it would be even better. But the fact is that this is more akin to what I wanted as a kid. Because the one I had as a kid was just straight gray. It didn't look lived in. You know what I mean? And, you know, so getting as lucky as I did with those, and knowing that they were on the way, there's a finite number of vehicles that I needed to kind of make sure I had to make the display look the way I wanted it to look. And of course there's one ship that I don't think any Star Wars collection should be without, but it was by far the most daunting one to find in the condition I wanted at a price I was willing to pay. You know, I end every video with that. You should be able to find anything you're looking for at any given time at a price you feel is reasonable. That's exactly what I was doing. and luck struck again, folks. For my final pickup for this week that I want to show off, here is my Power of the Force Millennium Falcon. This is the very, very first time that I've ever owned a Millennium Falcon of any kind. Ever. And when I unboxed this, it was the first time that I held a Millennium Falcon in my hands ever. I had friends that had these growing up, but I wasn't allowed to touch it. And this is mine. She is complete. And I did hint in my last unboxing video. I had a floor panel that goes inside this puppy, and I installed it today. Again, I have not checked the electronics yet, but she is in just wonderful shape. And this is really, really, really important to me. You know, she's got all the landing gear and everything, and yeah, I'll put this down for a second, but you'll be able to kind of see it off to the side here a little bit. Here, let me hold that back so she's still in frame a little bit. There you go. So, when I set out to buy a Millennium Falcon, I was originally looking at getting one of the larger scale vintage collection super crazy light up ones, and you know, Lauren has said we still should get one, but when you consider that most of your X-Wings, most of the common vehicles, to get those in vintage, the true scale that Vintage Collection has been doing, true to scale, they're really expensive, and they're not really, they're not that big of an improvement over these originals, especially seeing them in person. These Power of the Force vehicles are really nice looking. And for them to scale well together, even though they're all like kind of a smushed scale, it's amazing. And these will fit perfectly on the shelf. And Kieran Ball, earlier in the stream, pointed out that Hulk and Banner were there. Right, that's because that's where I've been keeping Slave 1 and X-Wing while waiting for the Falcon. And the Falcon arrived today, and I wasn't just going to put it up there without having some kind of fanfare. So those of you that are Patreons, after the show, in just a few minutes, the actual unboxing will premiere exclusively on Patreon. It's never coming over to the channel. You know, I don't pimp it very often, but the patrons get a lot of unboxing stuff, a lot of inside baseball stuff, if you'll pardon the phrase. We do the hangouts, which we'll do a hangout this weekend if I have anything to say about it. I'm just saying that there's some cool stuff over there if you haven't considered it. And you can get access for as little as $1. I believe there's one slot left at $1. So, tons of cool stuff over there. And this unboxing is going to be unveiled then. I didn't want to spoil the live stream, so I just scheduled it for later. So, we've got these three vehicles. Of course, you guys know I've got the smaller figures back there. And then that shelf, at least for the time being, will be a Star Wars shelf. G.I. Joe will probably go over here or underneath there. For that too. So, Rich is here. Welcome. And Bill says that his daughter had the Falcon he had. Fair enough. Yeah, it's great that these exist. And damn, nice. Yeah, it's good stuff, guys. And it did make the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs. That is true. That is true. Johnny says, for the shelf, the car, the boat, and the yacht. With a grind wow, you'll say wow every time. You know, 100%. So I have a cloud car from Bespin that's coming later this week. It's already, you know, complete. It's ready to go. I just got to replace a couple stickers that are a bit ragged, you know. And then after that, I think a TIE Fighter. And in terms of, like, Bespin-centric vehicles, I'm good. So I'm very happy about that. And then, I gotta be honest, I might start to branch out a little bit, depending upon how good it feels. But I want to get at least all this stuff on the shelf, looking the way it's supposed to look, and sit with it and enjoy it before I decide to expand that collection anymore. Because if I'm looking for the Bespin-centric stuff, without worrying about a Bespin playset or any of the other extraneous stuff, I'm pretty much done. Does my Falcon have a female voice? Yeah, I think so. Yes, Ian, the dark side does indeed beckon. I've been getting more and more into the 1/18 scale stuff, especially with Bill, just an avalanche of Joes. So it's really got me to appreciate stuff a lot more. Matter of fact, some of you might recall a couple years back, I did this unboxing sorting video with Matt Swafford from Reclaimers Vintage. I helped him procure a large lot of Joes, and there was a sizable portion of that were a lot of vehicle shells or things he couldn't really justify the shipping for the collection, and by all accounts what he did get worked out well. But I have a lot of unfinished G.I. Joe vehicles, and I had a portion of them that I had to move to do some organization so I could start getting this stuff ready to go. I also went through that on the Patreon channel this weekend, so fun times. But I've just been really just thinking in 1/18 scale a lot. I love my 1/12, that's probably never going to go away, but the 1/18 stuff I'm kind of navigating as I go along. So, getting good prices on things is really well worth it. And with the Power of the Force Falcon, in this condition, you normally see it for about, 150 to 180, depending upon where you're getting it from. And for anything lower than that price, it's usually incomplete, and what's missing is hard to find or, expensive. And I was able to get this in the condition it's in, 125, 130 bucks. Another 15 bucks for the missing floor piece part on the inside. I was very happy with that. I was willing to pay up to 200 bucks for the thing, and I was able to get that for that price. And I don't like talking numbers, it's kind of gross, but I just to kind of give you an idea of how deep I had to dig to get this stuff in that right condition and be happy. But now that I've busted that particular cherry, right, it's like now I have a Falcon, it's like it's open season for a little bit. So yeah, I get it. Coach Ronald, you'll need Lobot's moped for your best win vehicles to lead the scene. Yeah. Solo. Yeah, I need the Carbonite Solo. But I believe, I want to speak for him, but last I checked, Boba Hicks thinks he has an extra one from that same ship. He's just going to send along, which is wonderful. And Brick Something's here. Welcome. World McCormick says, growing up, I had the original Falcon. Fantastic vehicle playset. Never been matched by any other toy line. I gave what was left of mine to Retro Blastic. There you go. And again, this is the first time I've touched these things. This has only been in my possession for about 3 hours, and it's been sitting way up against the desk with these things scrunched on a tray, just so I could reveal them to you today. I haven't had a chance to really play with it or anything. I'm most looking forward to, when the show is over, going over to that shelf and putting these under the lights and just looking at them, quite frankly. But I wanted to do this live because I miss doing cool reveals like that live. So this was something that I kept under my hat for quite a while. Boba Hicks knew, and Carl figured it out. That I was at least that I had the Falcon. He figured it out from the part. I don't think he knew about the other two. So, I mean, that's the name of the goddamn ship, okay? I realize it's not in vogue to say that word. I don't agree with the uses of that word in polite conversation, but that's the name of the goddamn ship, okay? We have articles of our culture and our history that are not pleasant to look at or remember, but if we don't learn from that history, we're going to repeat it. That's just how it goes. So that's what this is, and that's that. So, sorry, not sorry. Ruben Carver says, you're sleeping in that room with them tonight, aren't you? It's tempting, but no. Tempting, but no. The fact is that I do work in this room. This is my office as well as my streaming station and toy room collection. So I get to see this stuff all day. If I ever want to visit this stuff, there will be times when we're watching a movie or something, and then if Lauren has to walk Gabby, our dog, which takes a bit of time, I'll just come in here, turn the lights on, and just turn with my chair, face it, and just look at them. and is the coolest feeling. So, the last 2+ years, I've been building to these moments. And I'm glad that it hasn't been like a real quick just throw stuff up on the shelf. Because I am getting more stuff to come in. I'm having to rethink how things fit on shelves and things like that. But to be able to say I've got these, the things that I said originally I would never get. If you go way back to like October of 2021, I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing Star Wars. Well, here we are. I'm doing it. But to be able to go like, I got this, and to not have to put it in a fucking bin. I can just go over to that shelf, move those 2 figures to this one where they're supposed to be, and put the Millennium Falcon and X-Wing and the Slave One next to each other, and just let them bask in the light and be able to look at them and enjoy them every day. That's what this is about. Because this is a memory I'll never be able to recreate. It's one thing to like, ooh, that's Millennium Falcon. I saw it when I was a kid, and this is the first one I've ever had it for myself. There's never going to be a first one again. But in the meantime, may all your card backs be straight, may all your grinds be merry, and may you be able to find anything you're looking for at any given time at a price you feel is reasonable. Especially if it's your first Millennium Falcon. I love you guys. We'll have some videos up later in the week, and look for Toy Grinds Live next Monday. You guys take care. Cheers. Special thanks to our patrons and members who you're seeing on the screen now. Thank you so much for your support. It really helps.